When you step into the journey of seeking meaningful relationships, one of the greatest questions you may find yourself wrestling with is whether the desire for someone in your life comes from God or simply from your own human emotions. It's a question that requires deep reflection, prayer, and above all, divine discernment. For many of us, the longing for love, companionship, and connection is a fundamental part of our existence. But it is essential that we approach this longing with wisdom, recognizing that true love is not based on fleeting feelings or desires, but on a deeper connection with the divine plan God has for us. The reality is this: God is always working in our lives with a purpose, and His relationships are not random. They are not meant to satisfy just our immediate wants, but to align with the greater destiny He has planned for us. So how can we know for sure that the person we desire is truly part of God's divine will for our lives? How can we be certain that we're not just chasing a fleeting emotion, but a divine connection? There are ways that God confirms His will, and they serve as markers to help guide our journey. The first key sign that a relationship is truly from God is the peace that surpasses all understanding. When a relationship is divinely orchestrated, it doesn't stir up anxiety, confusion, or doubt. Instead, it brings a deep sense of peace in your spirit. You may not have all the answers, but there is a calm assurance that God is in control and guiding the process. It's a peace that comes from knowing you are in alignment with His purpose, even when external circumstances don't always make sense. The peace of God is one of the most powerful confirmations you will ever experience in any area of your life, but especially in relationships. If the relationship you desire brings unrest, confusion, or disorder, then it's a strong indication that you may not be aligning with God's will. Secondly, divine relationships always align with your purpose. God will never send someone into your life who will pull you away from your purpose. Rather, He will send people to encourage and help you walk deeper into the fulfillment of your divine destiny. True relationships reflect the harmony between your life's calling and the person you're with. If the person you desire helps to strengthen your faith, encourages you to pursue your purpose, and brings you closer to your God-given calling, then you are on the right path. The relationships from God never derail you. They uplift, they sharpen, and they draw you closer to fulfilling the plan He has for you. Now, there's another unmistakable mark of a divine relationship: the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22 tells us that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These qualities should naturally flow from the relationship, not just for one person, but for both. When a relationship is rooted in God's will, it reflects the character of Christ. If the relationship brings out the best in you, if it encourages growth, not just spiritually, but in your character and integrity, then you know it's a relationship that has been birthed from God's will, not from mere human desires. The fourth sign is the undeniable presence of God's perfect timing. Divine relationships unfold according to God's timing, not ours. We live in a world that is often driven by impatience and rush, but God's timing is always perfect. When we wait on Him, we see His wisdom unfold. The right person enters our life at the right moment, and the circumstances surrounding the relationship fall into place in ways we could never orchestrate on our own. Trusting in God's timing means surrendering our own expectations and resting in His sovereignty. When you find yourself in a relationship at the perfect moment, in God's perfect timing, you'll know it was meant to be. In the journey of discerning whether a relationship is from God, we must also remember that God speaks clearly through His Word, through the wisdom of godly counsel, and through the deep peace of the Holy Spirit. He will never lead us astray, and His plan for us will always be filled with purpose, peace, and a reflection of His love. So as you reflect on the relationships in your life, ask yourself, does this relationship bring peace? Does it align with my God-given purpose? Does it bear the fruit of the Spirit? And am I willing to wait for God's perfect timing? If the answer to these questions is yes, then you can rest assured that the desire for someone in your life is not simply your own, it's part of God's divine will. Trust in His plan and know that He will lead you into relationships that are far greater than anything you could ever ask or imagine. When we talk about relationships, there's a deeper truth that often gets overlooked. The foundation of all relationships is rooted in God's purpose, not our personal desires. In this world where emotions can be loud and desires often dictate our choices, it can be easy to confuse what we want with what God has ordained. Yet, if we are to truly walk in alignment with God's will, we must first understand that relationships are not just about satisfying personal longing, but about fulfilling a divine purpose that God has designed specifically for us. You see, relationships are more than just connections between individuals. They are opportunities for God to work His purpose through us. Whether it's a friendship, a family bond, or a romantic relationship, God's intention is always to use those connections to fulfill His larger plan for our lives. But the problem comes when we allow our personal desires to overshadow God's plan. Our flesh may desire companionship, affection, or even the validation of others. But the true question is, does this relationship draw me closer to God? Does it serve the purpose He has placed in my life? God's purpose for relationships is not temporary, it is eternal. It's not about how someone makes us feel in the moment, but about how that relationship shapes us into the people we were created to be. His plan for relationships is not just for our benefit, but for His glory. Think about the relationships in your life. How many of them have helped you grow spiritually? How many have encouraged you to become a better version of yourself, one that reflects the love and character of God? These are the relationships that align with God's purpose for your life. The beauty of divine relationships is that they are rooted in something far greater than human desires or emotions. They are built on the eternal truth that God has a plan for you, and He will bring the right people into your life at the right time, not to satisfy your temporary wants, but to fulfill His divine will. It's not always easy to embrace this perspective, especially when desires are strong and the world pulls us in different directions. But we must remember that what God brings into our lives is always purposeful, even if it doesn't align with our immediate desires. He is the author of our lives, and He sees the big picture that we often miss. As we move forward in life, we must shift our mindset. Rather than focusing solely on what we want, we should ask God, what is your purpose for this relationship? This is the question that will guide us to not only experience deeper connections with others, but also to grow spiritually in ways we never imagined. The relationships that God brings into our lives are those that help us become who He has called us to be. Those that refine us and sharpen us for His glory. When we begin to look at relationships through the lens of purpose, everything changes. We stop chasing after what feels good in the moment and begin to pursue what is good for us in the long run. The question is no longer, does this person fulfill my desires? But rather, does this relationship fulfill God's purpose for my life? When we answer this question honestly, we begin to realize that God's purpose is always far greater than anything our own desires could ever fulfill. God knows exactly who you need in your life and when you need them. His timing is perfect, and His plan is always working for your good. So as you navigate relationships, whether they are friendships, family, or romantic connections, remember that it is not about what you desire in the moment. It is about what God is doing through those relationships to shape you into the person He created you to be. When we surrender our personal desires and allow God's purpose to lead the way, we will experience relationships that are not just fulfilling in the moment, but eternal in their impact. When you're walking through life and you come across relationships, whether romantic, friendships, or even professional connections, it's easy to be swept away by the excitement of emotions and desires. But there's a deeper truth that we must understand. God's will for our relationships doesn't come with confusion, fear, or uncertainty. It comes with a peace that surpasses all understanding. The peace of God is not just a fleeting sense of calm. It is a divine confirmation that you are on the right path. It is a sign that God is in control and that His plan is unfolding in your life, even when things may not seem clear at first. It's easy to mistake a fleeting feeling of excitement for confirmation, but true peace has a way of transcending emotions. Emotional highs can come and go, but peace remains constant. When you're in alignment with God's plan, you may not always understand every detail, but there's a peace that confirms you're moving in the right direction. It's a peace that calms your soul, even when you're facing uncertainty, and it reassures you that God is working behind the scenes to bring His purpose to pass. There is a difference between the peace that comes from God and the peace that the world offers. The world's peace is temporary and situational. It's dependent on external circumstances. But God's peace transcends situations. It's not bound by what is happening around you. Whether you are in the midst of turmoil, struggling with difficult decisions, or even questioning your next steps, God's peace remains unshaken. It tells you that no matter what, you are exactly where you need to be. It reassures you that you don't have to rush, you don't have to force things to happen, and you don't have to worry about the outcome. Because God is with you and His peace guards your heart and mind. When you are seeking God's will for your relationships, whether it's a romantic partner or a trusted friend, the peace of God will be your guide. It will be the inner stillness that reassures you that you are aligned with His plan. If you find yourself feeling uneasy, uncertain, or anxious, it's time to pause and seek God's direction. God does not lead us through confusion or anxiety. His path is always one of peace, and when you sense that peace, it is a clear sign that He is confirming His will in your life. There may be times when the world around you is chaotic, when everything seems to be falling apart, and when you are tempted to make decisions out of fear or impatience. But in those moments, if you will quiet your heart and turn to God, His peace will be your anchor. It will keep you from making hasty decisions and guide you towards the relationships that align with His purpose for your life. When God is confirming a relationship, whether it's a friendship or something deeper, His peace will settle on you. It will be a peaceful assurance that you are not alone in this journey, that He is with you, and that He is unfolding His will in your life. When you begin to understand the significance of your destiny in God's grand design, you realize that every aspect of your life is intricately woven together with purpose. Your relationships are not just about companionship, they are part of a divine plan. Many people approach relationships with the mindset of seeking fulfillment or satisfaction, but a relationship that is truly aligned with God's will carries a deeper, more profound meaning. Relationships, when rooted in God's purpose, are not just about the here and now. They are meant to propel you forward into the future He has prepared for you. When God sends people into your life, they are not just there to fill an emotional gap or to bring temporary joy. They are placed there to align with your divine calling, to assist you in moving forward into your purpose. Your destiny is a path that God has laid out for you, in every relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or familial, plays a role in that journey. The people you encounter along the way are either catalysts for your growth or stumbling blocks that challenge you to rise higher. However, when the relationship is divinely appointed, it always pushes you closer to becoming who God has created you to be. Your destiny is not merely a destination, it's a journey. It is the unfolding of God's will in your life. And those you encounter along this journey, whether they are there for a season or a lifetime, will either be instruments in helping you fulfill that purpose or distractions that try to pull you away from it. It is not about finding someone to fill the void, but about recognizing the people God places in your life who are there to assist you in your mission. They may challenge you, they may encourage you, and at times they may even correct you, but ultimately they are part of God's plan to refine you for greater works. When you begin to walk in alignment with your purpose, the clarity and strength that come from this understanding will allow you to recognize the relationships that are in harmony with God's plan for your life. You will see that your interactions with others are no longer random or by chance, but are divinely ordained to bring you closer to your purpose. Relationships founded on purpose are not just about mutual affection, they are about mutual growth. They hold the potential to become a powerful platform for both individuals to step into their divine calling. They are about empowering each other, encouraging each other to walk out the mission God has set before them, and inspiring one another to rise above challenges. The relationships that are truly aligned with your destiny have the power to lift you higher, to inspire you to go further than you ever imagined. They speak life into your dreams. They believe in your potential, even when you struggle to believe in yourself. And they are catalysts for the manifestation of God's promises in your life. Every step you take with these relationships, every moment of growth, every challenge you face together brings you closer to the fullness of God's will for you. It is essential then to view relationships not just through the lens of personal desire, but through the lens of purpose. Ask yourself, does this relationship move me forward into my destiny? Does it align with the calling God has placed on my life? If the answer is yes, then you are on the right track. But if the relationship pulls you away from your higher purpose, it may be time to reevaluate and seek God's wisdom. Remember that relationships in God's plan are not only about who you're with, they're about who you become in the process. God places people in your life to challenge you, to grow you, and to help you become the person He has destined you to be. When your relationships are aligned with your divine calling, they become a tool in God's hands, shaping you, refining you, and propelling you toward the fulfillment of your purpose. Every connection, every conversation, every moment with those who walk in alignment with your destiny will ultimately bring you closer to your divine calling. And that, my friends, is a relationship built not on fleeting desires, but on eternal purpose. When we talk about the fruit of the Spirit, we are speaking of something powerful and transformative, not just for our lives, but for the relationships we build. In Galatians 5:22-23, we find a beautiful description of the qualities that should flow from the heart of every believer who is walking in the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These qualities are not just characteristics to be admired from a distance, they are divine markers that should be reflected in our interactions, especially in our relationships. Imagine for a moment what it would be like to be in a relationship where love is not just an emotion, but a consistent, unwavering commitment to honor, serve, and uplift one another. This kind of love, as outlined in 1 Corinthians 13, is not easily angered. It is patient, it is kind, it does not envy, and it always seeks the best for the other person. When God's love is at the center of a relationship, it transforms everything. You begin to see each other not through the lens of personal needs or selfish desires, but through the lens of God's unconditional love. It becomes a love that gives, not just takes, a love that seeks the well-being of the other person above all else. But love is only the beginning. When the Holy Spirit is active in a relationship, it naturally produces joy. This joy isn't just about happiness or fleeting moments of pleasure, but a deep-rooted joy that comes from knowing God is present, that He is working, and that He is guiding you both toward a higher purpose. Even in difficult times, joy persists. It's not a joy that comes from external circumstances, but a joy that transcends them. In the midst of challenges, when you walk with God, you find strength to rejoice because you know He is using every moment to refine you and shape you into the people He has called you to be. Then there is peace, the kind of peace that surpasses all understanding. This peace isn't just about the absence of conflict. It's the kind of peace that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, God is in control. It's the peace that holds your heart steady even when the world around you is shaking. In relationships, when both individuals are grounded in the peace of God, it creates an atmosphere where trust and safety thrive. There's no need for constant worry or fear because both people know that God is guiding and protecting them. This peace becomes the foundation on which the relationship stands, and it allows both individuals to grow, knowing that their lives are held in God's loving hands. Patience is another fruit that deeply impacts relationships. It's the kind of patience that understands that growth takes time, that transformation doesn't happen overnight, and that people are works in progress. When the Holy Spirit is present, you begin to view each other with grace, understanding that sometimes mistakes will happen and flaws will surface, but patience allows you to love through the process. It's not about tolerating each other, it's about genuinely allowing each other the space to grow and evolve. Patience makes room for forgiveness and growth. It gives time for healing and understanding without rushing to judgment. Kindness is perhaps one of the simplest but most profound manifestations of God's Spirit. In a relationship where kindness is at the core, everything shifts. Words are chosen carefully, actions are deliberate and thoughtful, and care is given freely. There is no room for harsh words, rude behavior, or indifference. Instead, kindness becomes the language of the relationship. It's the willingness to put the other person's needs first, to respond with empathy, and to offer comfort when needed. It's a kindness that reflects God's goodness to the world, and in relationships, it becomes the glue that binds hearts together in mutual respect and love. As these fruits of the Spirit begin to take root in your relationship, they naturally give way to goodness. Goodness isn't just about doing good things, it's about having a good heart, a heart that desires to see the other person flourish. When you walk in the Spirit, your desires are transformed to reflect God's goodness, to care for others in a way that reflects His goodness and righteousness. A relationship built on goodness doesn't seek to tear down or manipulate, but rather seeks to build up, to encourage, to strengthen, and to lift up the other person in love. Faithfulness is another key indicator of a relationship grounded in the Spirit. God is faithful to His promises, and when we walk in His Spirit, we become faithful to each other. Faithfulness is not just about being loyal, it's about being committed, unwavering, and consistent in your love and dedication. In a relationship rooted in faithfulness, both people know that their commitment to each other is not based on temporary emotions or circumstances, but on a deeper covenant, a covenant that reflects God's faithfulness to us. It's a trust that says, I am with you no matter what, and that trust allows the relationship to withstand the storms of life. But perhaps the most powerful and subtle fruit is gentleness. It's the softness in our approach to one another, the humility that allows us to forgive, to offer grace, and to respond in love when faced with disappointment or conflict. Gentleness does not mean weakness, it means strength under control. In relationships, gentleness manifests itself in how we handle each other's vulnerabilities, how we speak in moments of tension, and how we support each other with tenderness and care. Finally, self-control is the fruit that keeps everything in balance. In a world that is quick to act on impulse and driven by emotion, self-control is a divine power that allows you to respond with wisdom. It keeps your desires in check and aligns them with God's will. Self-control allows you to resist the temptation to react harshly or to give in to selfish impulses. In relationships, self-control ensures that your actions, words, and attitudes reflect God's love and purpose rather than your own fleeting desires. It helps you to stay focused on the long-term picture, on building a lasting, meaningful, and godly relationship that will honor God in every way. When the fruit of the Spirit is at work in a relationship, the atmosphere changes. It becomes a place of transformation, a place where both individuals can grow not just together, but in their walk with God. It's not just about being in love, it's about being in love with God first and allowing His character to shape every aspect of the relationship. As you reflect God's character in your relationship, you become a living testimony of His goodness, His grace, and His love to the world around you. This is the fruit that lasts, the fruit that brings glory to God, and the fruit that will sustain your relationship through every season of life. We must remember that relationships, when grounded in the fruit of the Spirit, are not just reflections of our desires or emotions, but expressions of God's divine purpose. The love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control that flow from the Holy Spirit will not only transform our hearts, but will also shape the very foundation of the relationships we build. These qualities are not just for us to admire from afar. They are meant to be lived out in every interaction, every decision, and every moment we share with others. When we invite God's Spirit to guide our relationships, we open the door to a life filled with purpose, growth, and deep connection. We begin to see that true love is not merely about what we want or how we feel in the moment. It's about reflecting the character of Christ in everything we do. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to remind you of something that should be at the forefront of every mind: the value of time. You see, time is the one resource that once lost can never be regained. Not a single second, not a single moment. And yet so many of us live as if we have all the time in the world. We drift from day to day, letting life happen to us instead of making life happen for us. How much longer will you wait to live the life you were created for? How much longer will you let another year slip away, wasted in the shadow of unfulfilled dreams, lost potential, and unrealized purpose? I am here to challenge you today. Don't waste another year of your life. Don't let this year pass like the ones before, unnoticed and unmarked by the progress you deserve. The truth is, simple: time is the one thing you can never get back. Every year that passes is another opportunity either embraced or lost. The power of vision is what will move you forward. A vision is a roadmap for your life. Without it, you are merely existing, waiting for something to happen instead of making it happen. You can't reach a destination if you don't know where you're going. When you have a vision for your life, you will find purpose in everything you do. You'll see opportunities where others see obstacles. You'll act with intention, not by default. Too many of us are waiting for the right moment to act. We wait for perfect conditions, the perfect timing, or the perfect opportunity to come. But let me tell you something, there is no such thing as perfect timing. The right time to take action is now. You may not have everything you want to move forward, but you have everything you need to get started. Don't wait for conditions to align. Create the conditions you need through your actions. I urge you, don't let procrastination steal your future. Every moment you delay is a moment that could have been used to build the life you deserve. Waiting is not a strategy for success, it's a strategy for failure. Procrastination is a silent killer, robbing you of your potential, one delay at a time. It's time to stop putting off what you can do today. Understand this: you are your greatest asset. The most valuable investment you can make is not in stocks, not in property, but in yourself. The growth of your mind, the development of your character, and the honing of your skills are the only investments that will never fail you. Your potential is unlimited when you decide to tap into it. But in order to fully tap into that potential, you must also learn to take responsibility for your life. Stop blaming your circumstances, your upbringing, your past mistakes, or the people around you for where you are today. Your life is a result of the decisions you have made up until this point. If you want to change your future, you must begin by making different choices today. You must take control and stop living as a victim of life. Every day that you wake up is an opportunity to create a legacy. What you do today matters. The choices you make today, the habits you build today, will shape the life you lead tomorrow. A year from now, you will look back and either be proud of how far you've come or regret that you didn't make the most of this precious time. So I ask you again, how much longer will you waste? How much longer will you let life pass by while you sit on the sidelines? Don't wait for someone else to change your life for you. Don't wait for your circumstances to improve. Let's start now. Commit to your vision. Commit to your growth. Commit to making this year the year you stop wasting time and start creating the future you were born to have. The time is now. Your life is waiting for you to step into it. Don't waste another year of it. God is one of the greatest gifts we have been given, yet it is also the most easily overlooked. We often take it for granted, assuming that we will have as much of it as we need or want, when in reality, time is finite. It is the one resource that we can never replenish, no matter how much we desire to. The hours of today, once gone, are gone forever. Every minute that passes is a minute that we will never get back. The beauty of time lies in its preciousness, and yet many of us treat it carelessly, as if we can always start over tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow is never promised. The only moment we are truly sure of is the one we are in right now. Time is a currency, but unlike money, we can't store it up for later. We can't earn back lost time through hard work or perseverance. Time is a gift, and it is a gift that demands respect. If you squander it, you are squandering one of the most valuable assets you will ever have. The truth is, most people don't realize how much time they've wasted until it's too late. When they look back, they see years gone by filled with unfulfilled dreams, lost opportunities, and idle days that added up to very little. Consider this: each year, each month, each week, and each day is an opportunity that you will never have again. Think about the opportunities that are waiting for you right now, the people you can meet, the skills you can develop, the goals you can achieve. But those opportunities won't wait for you forever. Life moves forward with or without you. Time doesn't pause, and it certainly doesn't slow down to accommodate our procrastination, our fear, or our doubts. We have to come to a place where we understand that time is not to be wasted. The way we spend our time will determine how we look back on our lives. A year from now, you could be in the exact same place you are today, or you could have moved forward, accomplished more, grown, and made progress toward your dreams. The choice is yours. Every second counts, and what you do with it now will impact your future. Time is the greatest equalizer. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, how talented or ordinary you may feel, every person is given the same amount of time in a day. What separates those who live fulfilling lives from those who don't is how they use that time. The people who achieve great things are not necessarily more gifted or more fortunate than others. They are simply more intentional with their time. They understand that every moment is a chance to move closer to their purpose. They don't waste time on things that don't serve their vision. They invest it wisely. The reality is that the time we spend today shapes the life we will lead tomorrow. When you waste time, you waste your future. So often people will tell you that they're too busy or too tired or too overwhelmed to work on their dreams or to focus on what truly matters. They may fill their time with distractions, with things that give them temporary pleasure, but add little value to their long-term growth. This is the trap, the illusion that we have endless time, that the future is far enough away that it doesn't need our immediate attention. But the truth is, the future is always closer than we think. The time you waste today is time that you will never get back, and tomorrow is shaped by the choices you make now. We have to start seeing time as an investment in our future, our growth, and our dreams. Each day, each hour is a deposit into the future we are creating for ourselves. How will you look back on the way you spent your time? Will you be proud of how you used the gifts you were given, or will you regret not having used your time more wisely? Recognizing the gift of time means understanding that it is precious and fleeting. When you truly grasp that time is limited, You begin to live with intention. You begin to make decisions that align with your highest priorities, not your temporary moods or distractions. You stop allowing the world to dictate how you spend your time, and instead you take charge. You get proactive. You invest your time in things that will build your character, develop your skills, and bring you closer to your vision. The first step to respecting the gift of time is to value it. Value it so much that you no longer allow it to slip away unnoticed. You begin to live with urgency, not out of fear, but out of appreciation for the time you have. Every moment is an opportunity, and it's up to you to make the most of it. What will you do with the time you have today? How will you use this gift? The clock is ticking, and the answer lies in the choices you make right now. Vision is the force that propels us forward, that ignites the drive within us to reach beyond where we are and into the realm of what is possible. It's the blueprint of our future, the picture of what we hope to create, even when the circumstances of today might not reflect that possibility. Without vision, life can feel aimless, like a ship drifting on a vast ocean without a destination. We may go through the motions, following the patterns of everyday life, but we're not truly living with purpose. Vision is what transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's what allows us to see beyond our current reality and imagine a future that compels us to act. A clear vision gives you direction. It's a map that tells you where you're headed, and when you know where you're going, every step you take becomes more purposeful. Without vision, we can become easily distracted by the noise and clutter of life. We chase after things that don't matter, or we fall into routines that keep us busy but don't bring us any closer to the life we truly desire. When we have a vision, we have a reason to rise every morning with intent. We know why we're doing what we're doing, and each decision we make aligns with that purpose. Vision is also what gives us resilience in the face of challenges. When life gets difficult and your vision is what keeps you going, it becomes the fuel that powers you through the storms. In those moments when the road ahead seems unclear or when obstacles seem insurmountable, your vision reminds you of what's possible and why you can't give up. It's the fire that refuses to be extinguished, even when everything around you tries to put it out. Vision helps you stay focused on the bigger picture, even when the details seem overwhelming. But vision isn't just about having a dream or a goal. It's about having a compelling vision, a vision that moves you, excites you, and energizes you to take bold action. A vision that is so powerful that it shapes your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. It's not just a wish or a vague desire, but a clear, detailed picture of who you want to become and what you want to accomplish. A compelling vision requires you to think beyond the limits of your current situation and imagine a life where those limitations no longer exist. It challenges you to grow, to stretch, and to reach higher. A true vision often involves more than just personal success. It is connected to a deeper purpose. It's about making a difference, contributing to something greater than yourself. The most fulfilling visions are those that not only elevate the individual, but also have a positive impact on others, on your community, your family, or even the world at large. It's about understanding that your life has a purpose beyond simply fulfilling your own desires. Your vision should be a reflection of the unique gifts you have to offer and the difference you want to make in the world. When your vision is connected to something bigger than yourself, it gives you a sense of meaning that can't be taken away by temporary setbacks. The power of vision also lies in its ability to inspire action. Vision without action is just a dream. But when vision and action come together, transformation happens. Vision fuels action by giving you something to work towards. It clarifies what needs to be done, helps you set goals, and keeps you motivated when the journey gets tough. Without vision, action can feel aimless. You may work hard, but it will feel like you're putting in effort without seeing meaningful results. When you have vision, every task, no matter how small, feels like it is part of a larger, meaningful process. Vision creates momentum. It propels you forward even when you feel like quitting. But here's the thing, vision requires courage. It requires the courage to believe in something greater than your current reality, to take risks, and to step into the unknown. It's easy to settle for the comfortable and familiar, to live according to what seems safe or logical. But a vision often calls you out of that comfort zone and challenges you to step into the realm of the unknown. It's in those moments of uncertainty that your vision will either hold you back or push you forward. If you truly want to live the life you are capable of, you have to be willing to face the fear that comes with stepping into your vision. Your vision is also an evolving thing. It grows and changes as you grow and change. It's not set in stone. As you pursue your goals and gain experience, your vision may expand, deepen, or shift in ways you couldn't have anticipated at the beginning. Sometimes life will lead you down unexpected paths that are part of a bigger picture. Embrace that. Embrace the unfolding nature of your vision. But whatever direction it takes, keep moving forward. Keep your eyes on the vision, because that is what will keep you grounded and focused when things get difficult. Vision is contagious. When you live with vision, you inspire others to do the same. The energy and passion you bring to the pursuit of your own vision will radiate outwards, affecting those around you. People will begin to ask what drives you. What is your purpose? Your vision becomes a living testament to the power of purpose and direction. It's not just about what you achieve, but the way you live your life that influences and uplifts those who are watching you. By living your vision, you help others find theirs. The power of vision lies in its ability to transform your life. It pulls you out of mediocrity and sets you on the path to greatness. It moves you from a life of reaction to a life of intention. It enables you to face the future with hope, courage, and confidence, knowing that the best is yet to come and that you have the power to make it happen. Too many people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to circumstances and allowing the external world to dictate their decisions. They wake up each morning and go through the motions, not really choosing how their day unfolds, but simply responding to whatever comes their way. This is what it means to live by default, to let life happen to you, rather than taking charge and creating the life you want. When you live by default, you allow external influences like society's expectations, the opinions of others, or the pressures of daily life to guide your decisions, rather than living in alignment with your own values, purpose, and vision. Living by default is a life of passivity. It's a life where you wait for opportunities to come to you instead of going out and creating them. It's a life where you are constantly putting out fires, dealing with whatever problems or challenges arise, but never really taking time to think about the bigger picture, the life you want to build. When you live by default, you are merely reacting, not planning. You are responding to what's happening around you rather than shaping what happens next. It's like being a passenger in your own life, letting someone else or something else steer the direction. But this way of living is dangerous. Over time, it becomes easier to just go along with the flow, to keep doing what you've always done, because it's comfortable or familiar. It's easy to follow the crowd and do what others expect of you, to take the path of least resistance. But when you do this, you stop asking the most important question of all: what do I truly want? What is it that I am meant to do with my life? What do I want to create, to achieve, to experience? When you stop asking these questions, you stop living with purpose, and you begin to live by default. Living by default robs you of the power to make intentional choices. It disconnects you from your own desires, your passions, and your true potential. Instead of creating your life, you simply accept whatever life hands you. And while this may feel easier in the short term, it's a path that leads to frustration, regret, and unfulfilled dreams. Deep down, we all have the capacity to live a life of intention. We all have the ability to choose to shape our future with the decisions we make today. But living by default tells us that we are powerless, that we don't have control. It convinces us that we're at the mercy of circumstances, when in reality, we have far more control over our lives than we realize. One of the biggest traps of living by default is that we forget that we are the creators of our own reality. We often get caught up in the idea that life is something that happens to us, instead of something we actively participate in creating. We forget that the way we spend our time, the people we surround ourselves with, the choices we make, all of these things play a role in shaping our future. But when you live by default, you surrender that power. You stop making conscious decisions and instead let external circumstances or the opinions of others determine your course. The truth is, life will always present challenges, setbacks, and difficulties. There will always be reasons to justify living passively, reasons to fall into the trap of living by default. It's easy to get caught up in the everyday grind, to lose sight of our bigger goals and dreams and to focus only on getting through the day. But when you live by default, you are living in reaction to those challenges rather than proactively working to overcome them. Life becomes about surviving, not thriving. It becomes about coping with circumstances instead of consciously creating the life you desire. To stop living by default, you must begin to take responsibility for your life. You have to realize that you are in the driver's seat. You get to decide what your day, your week, your month, and your life will look like. This requires a radical shift in mindset, moving from a passive mindset to an active one, from being a victim of circumstances to being the architect of your own destiny. Instead of letting life push you around, you start pushing back. Instead of reacting to problems, you take control and make decisions that move you forward. It starts with small, deliberate actions. Start by setting clear intentions each day. Ask yourself, what is my purpose today? What is the most important thing I can do right now to move closer to my vision? Don't let the day slip by without making purposeful decisions. Whether it's a small action like organizing your workspace or a bigger one like taking steps toward a long-term goal, make it count. The more you practice intentional living, the more you begin to feel empowered, as though you are in charge of your life. You also need to get clear about what matters to you. So many people waste time and energy on things that don't truly bring them joy or fulfillment. They live according to what society values or what others expect of them, without ever stopping to ask, what do I truly want? What is it that I care about? What brings me fulfillment? When you start to live according to your own values and desires, you stop being controlled by external forces. You make decisions based on what you believe is important, not on what others think is important. Another key to stopping this cycle of living by default is learning to say no. When you're living passively, it's easy to say yes to everything, to commitments, responsibilities, and obligations that aren't aligned with your vision or your purpose. But to live intentionally, you need to prioritize your time. You need to protect it by saying no to things that don't serve you. Saying no is not about being selfish, it's about making space for what truly matters. It's about choosing what aligns with your purpose and your vision and letting go of anything that detracts from it. When you live intentionally, you become the creator of your own life. You shape your circumstances instead of being shaped by them. You take ownership of your choices and begin making decisions that move you forward. Every choice, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to create the life you want. You stop living by default, and instead you start living by design. The idea that we must wait for perfect conditions before taking action is one of the most pervasive myths that holds people back from achieving their goals. It's the illusion that things must align perfectly before we can begin, that we need the right moment, the ideal set of circumstances, all the perfect resources to move forward. The reality, however, is far different. Perfection does not exist in the real world. Conditions are never truly perfect, and waiting for them to be so is a recipe for procrastination and missed opportunities. What most people fail to recognize is that action itself creates the conditions for success. Waiting for the right moment is often a form of self-deception, a way to justify inaction by claiming that the timing isn't right yet. But by waiting for things to fall into place on their own, you're overlooking one crucial truth: action precedes results. The act of beginning or moving forward despite uncertainty, ambiguity, or imperfection is what creates the momentum that eventually leads to success. Conditions rarely improve on their own without effort. Instead, you must create the conditions you need by taking action and then adapt as things evolve. In many ways, this fear of imperfection is rooted in the pursuit of certainty, the desire to control every variable before committing to any decision. This is often tied to perfectionism, which can paralyze progress. The fear of failure or making mistakes often overrides the need to move forward. And so people wait, hoping for circumstances to get better or for their fears to subside. But waiting for certainty is counterproductive because life by its very nature is uncertain. When you delay action in pursuit of certainty, you're essentially stalling your progress. The only way to gain clarity or insight is through experience, and the only way to gain experience is to act. Perfect conditions are a moving target. Even when it seems like everything is lined up, there will always be new challenges, obstacles, and unforeseen factors that emerge. The so-called perfect scenario is an illusion that often shifts the goalposts. People who wait for perfect conditions end up finding that once they think everything is in place, new hurdles appear. This is why successful individuals don't wait for everything to align. They forge ahead with what they have, knowing that conditions can never be completely ideal, and that they will need to adapt and adjust as they progress. The notion of waiting for perfect conditions also has a dangerous side effect. It procrastinates growth. The longer you delay taking action, the longer it will take to learn the lessons, gain the skills, or accumulate the experience necessary to succeed. By putting off the start, you not only delay your progress, but you also delay the inevitable learning process. Whether you succeed or fail, each experience is a lesson. But if you wait for the perfect conditions, you bypass the very process that will teach you what you need to know. In fact, failure is often the greatest teacher. The fear of failure, which is tied to waiting for the perfect circumstances, is actually holding you back from the success you seek. If you can embrace the idea that failure is simply a stepping stone to success, you will begin to understand that action is more valuable than inaction. Failure, while uncomfortable, gives you data. It tells you what works, what doesn't, and what needs to be improved. Every small failure brings you closer to success because each one provides valuable feedback that guides your next move. In the world of entrepreneurship, business, and personal development, the most successful people are those who understand this principle. You must be willing to start with what you have and iterate along the way. The process of trial and error is not only inevitable, it's essential. Those who wait for perfect conditions risk watching others move ahead while they remain stuck, waiting for the right moment that will never come. In the digital age, with technology evolving at an unprecedented rate, the ability to adapt and respond quickly is more important than ever. The most successful businesses, projects, and individuals are often those who take action and pivot quickly in response to new information or changing conditions. Waiting for perfection can lead to stagnation, whereas adaptability, the ability to act and adjust based on real-time feedback, leads to growth and innovation. The key to overcoming the desire for perfect conditions is understanding that progress is built on momentum. The initial step, no matter how small or imperfect, triggers the next one. Action compounds. Once you take that first step, no matter how uncertain or flawed, it sets in motion a sequence of events that will eventually lead to growth and improvement. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to act. But once you begin, the process of improvement accelerates. The idea of waiting for perfect conditions also overlooks the value of experience. Many of the skills, insights, and breakthroughs that lead to success cannot be acquired through planning or theorizing. They can only be gained through doing. When you wait for the ideal set of circumstances, you deprive yourself of the opportunity to accumulate experience and develop the skills that come only from direct engagement with the task at hand. In sum, waiting for perfect conditions is a form of avoidance. It's a way of procrastinating in the hope that external circumstances will eventually make things easier. But the truth is, things rarely become easier on their own. Action creates the conditions for success. It's time to stop waiting and start doing. Perfection is not the prerequisite for success, action is. It is the foundation upon which all progress is built. Begin with what you have and adjust as you go. Every imperfect step forward brings you closer to your goals than waiting ever will. Commitment to growth is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in your life. It's a decision to refuse to stay where you are, to reject stagnation, and to embrace the idea that you can always improve, learn, and evolve. The truth is, growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you intentionally commit to it, do it day in and day out. This commitment goes beyond simply seeking to improve in one area of your life. It's about adopting a mindset of continual development across all areas: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Too often we think of growth as something that is linear or comes in easy, recognizable bursts. But growth is not a smooth path. It's a journey filled with challenges, setbacks, and uncomfortable moments. Committing to growth means committing to the process, understanding that it's often in the struggle, the discomfort, and the failure that the most significant progress is made. It's easy to think that growth will come through effortlessness or comfort, but real, lasting growth is born out of persistence, resilience, and sometimes pain. When you commit to growth, you are making a commitment to become a better version of yourself. You're saying to the world and to yourself that you are not content with staying in your current state. You are constantly evolving, pushing the boundaries of what you thought was possible. This requires a mindset shift from focusing on what you can't do or haven't done yet to focusing on the potential of what you can become. This commitment to growth means you are willing to step outside your comfort zone. Growth rarely occurs when we're in a place of ease. In fact, the most profound growth happens when we push ourselves to do things that scare us or make us uncomfortable. Whether it's learning a new skill, taking on a challenge, or dealing with a difficult situation, growth often comes when we face discomfort head on. Without that willingness to embrace discomfort, we would stagnate. So growth demands courage, the courage to face challenges, the courage to make mistakes, and the courage to step into the unknown. A key part of committing to growth is the ability to learn from failure. Most people are afraid of failure. They fear that failure means they are not good enough or that it's a sign they should give up. But the truth is that failure is one of the most powerful teachers you'll ever encounter. When you fail, you're given feedback, real-world lessons on what works and what doesn't. The most successful people in life are often those who fail the most, but they fail forward. They see every failure as an opportunity to learn and adjust. If you're committed to growth, you cannot be afraid of failure. You must embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Committing to growth also means you are taking responsibility for your own development. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or the past for where we are in life. But when you commit to growth, you take full ownership of your journey. You stop waiting for things to change on their own or for someone else to make things happen for you. You realize that your progress depends on your actions, your decisions, and your willingness to do the work. Personal growth doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. And it's up to you to make the necessary sacrifices, put in the effort, and keep your focus on your goals. To commit to growth is also to acknowledge that growth is a lifelong process. There's no finish line when it comes to personal development. The more you grow, the more you realize how much further you can go. As you become more aware of your potential, you begin to see opportunities for growth in every aspect of your life. Growth is not a destination, it's a continuous journey. And the moment you stop growing is the moment you begin to decline. The best version of yourself is not a point in time you will ever reach, but something you are always moving toward. So commitment to growth means adopting a mindset of lifelong learning. Another aspect of growth is the need for self-discipline. It's one thing to want to grow and another thing to actually commit to the daily work that growth requires. It's about making the right choices consistently, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Growth requires us to make sacrifices, to say no to short-term pleasures in order to build long-term results. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it, pushing yourself when others are quitting, and sticking to your goals even when the path gets tough. Self-discipline is what separates those who merely dream from those who accomplish their dreams. Part of committing to growth is also about developing an attitude of gratitude. While it's important to push yourself to be better, it's equally important to celebrate your progress. Growth is not just about pushing forward, it's also about appreciating how far you've come. Each small step forward is a victory, and by acknowledging that, you keep yourself motivated to keep going. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. And this shift is a key to sustaining long-term growth. A commitment to growth means surrounding yourself with people who encourage and challenge you. The people you spend the most time with play a significant role in your development. If If you want to grow, you need to be around people who inspire you, who challenge you to be your best, and who are on the same journey of growth themselves. Being in the company of like-minded individuals who support your aspirations is an invaluable resource. They keep you accountable, offer fresh perspectives, and inspire you when your own motivation wanes. The commitment to growth also requires you to be open to feedback. Often we think of growth as something that happens in isolation, but in reality we grow most effectively when we're open to the feedback of others. Whether it's feedback from mentors, colleagues, or those who have been on a similar journey, constructive criticism is one of the most powerful tools for growth. It forces us to confront our blind spots and develop new strategies for improvement. The beauty of committing to growth is that it's not about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about having the determination to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may be. Growth isn't about suddenly becoming someone else. It's about consistently becoming the best version of the person you are meant to be. Each step of growth, no matter how small, brings you closer to your potential. And as you commit to growth, you'll find that your life becomes more fulfilling, more purposeful, and more aligned with the vision you've always had for yourself. Procrastination is one of the greatest obstacles to success and personal fulfillment. It's a silent thief that steals our time, our potential, and our progress. The hardest part about procrastination is that it's often so easy to justify. We put things off because we feel overwhelmed, because we don't feel ready, or because we convince ourselves that we'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never seems to come. It's the subtle habit of delay that slowly erodes our confidence, our productivity, and ultimately our dreams. At its core, procrastination is not about laziness, it's about avoidance. It's an emotional response to tasks or situations that we associate with discomfort, fear, or resistance. When we procrastinate, we avoid the feelings of overwhelm or inadequacy that might arise when we think about a big task. We put off what feels like a burden, thinking that by postponing it, we're protecting ourselves from stress or failure. But in reality, procrastination does the opposite. It only heightens anxiety because it leaves us with unfinished business and a growing sense of regret. The longer we put something off, the more pressure it creates, and the harder it becomes to actually get started. The first step to eliminating procrastination is recognizing it for what it is, a form of self-sabotage. We delay doing what's necessary because we're afraid of the discomfort that might come with the task. But procrastination is an illusion of relief. It doesn't really make us feel better in the long term. It just postpones the inevitable. When we finally face the task, we often find that it wasn't as difficult as we imagined. What we feared was not the task itself, but the emotional resistance we created around it. Overcoming procrastination requires that we challenge the mindset that leads us to avoid action. We need to shift our focus from the negative emotions that arise when we think about a task to the positive outcome that we will achieve once it's completed. Instead of focusing on how hard something will be or how much work it requires, we need to remind ourselves of the benefits of completing the task. Whether it's the sense of relief, the progress made, or the feeling of accomplishment, focusing on the reward rather than the effort is often the first step in breaking the cycle of procrastination. One of the most effective ways to eliminate procrastination is to break large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. One of the primary reasons we procrastinate is because a task feels too overwhelming. When we look at the whole picture, it can seem insurmountable. But when we break it down into smaller, actionable pieces, it suddenly feels more attainable. It's much easier to start by taking just one small step than to face the intimidating idea of completing the entire project. Each small action you take not only gets you closer to completion, but it also creates momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in overcoming procrastination. Another important strategy is to set specific deadlines and hold yourself accountable. When there is no clear timeline for a task, it's easy to push it aside. But deadlines create urgency, and urgency creates focus. Setting deadlines forces you to confront the task rather than allowing it to linger indefinitely. The key is to make these deadlines realistic and personal rather than arbitrary or external. You don't need to wait for someone else to set a deadline for you. You can create your own sense of urgency by committing to finish by a certain time and holding yourself accountable to that commitment. It's also important to understand that perfectionism fuels procrastination.
Many people delay action because they fear that their work won't be good enough. They wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions, thinking that if they wait long enough, their work will be flawless. But this mindset only leads to more delay. Perfectionism creates paralysis because it raises the bar to an unattainable level. To combat this, we need to embrace the idea that progress is more important than perfection. Starting, even imperfectly, is far more valuable than waiting until everything is just right. You can always improve or refine something later, but the key is to start. And starting always beats procrastination. One of the most effective ways to beat procrastination is to create a productive environment. Our surroundings have a profound impact on our ability to focus and take action. If we're surrounded by distractions, clutter, or a chaotic atmosphere, it becomes much harder to concentrate and get things done. But when we consciously create an environment that supports our goals, whether that's organizing our workspace, minimizing distractions, or setting clear boundaries with others, we give ourselves the best chance of staying focused and productive. A cluttered space often reflects a cluttered mind, and decluttering your physical environment can help declutter your mental space as well. It's also helpful to develop a daily routine that includes time for work and time for rest. When we lack structure, it's easy to let the day slip by without accomplishing what we intended. A well-established routine provides a framework for productivity, ensuring that time is set aside for the tasks that need to be done. Having a routine doesn't mean rigidly adhering to a schedule, but it does mean establishing clear periods of time dedicated to focus, progress, and self-discipline. When we create a rhythm in our day, we make it easier to stay on track and avoid falling into the trap of procrastination. Another important technique is to remove distractions before you start a task. Procrastination thrives in an environment of distraction. Whether it's social media, emails, phone notifications, or even the temptation to check the news, distractions pull us away from the task at hand and make it harder to focus. Before you sit down to work, eliminate as many distractions as possible. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and set a clear intention for what you want to accomplish in that time. The more you can limit external interruptions, the easier it will be to focus and avoid procrastination. It's crucial to celebrate small wins. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. When we complete a task or even make progress toward a larger goal, we need to acknowledge that progress. Celebrating small wins reinforces the positive feelings associated with completing work, and it motivates us to keep going. Procrastination is often fueled by negative feelings of frustration or self-doubt. But when we take time to appreciate our efforts, we shift our focus to what we're accomplishing rather than what we haven't done yet. Eliminating procrastination isn't about willpower alone. It's about changing the mindset, habits, and environment that support it. It's about recognizing that action is the antidote to delay. The longer we wait, the harder it becomes to start. But the sooner we act, the sooner we begin to experience the momentum and the rewards that come from taking consistent, purposeful action. By breaking tasks down into manageable steps, setting deadlines, minimizing distractions, and embracing progress over perfection, we can overcome procrastination and unlock the potential within us to create the life we truly desire. You are your greatest asset. This statement may seem simple, but it carries profound implications for how you approach life, work, and personal growth. Most people spend their time, energy, and resources focused on external circumstances, on what they don't have, what they wish they could do, or what others have achieved. But the truth is, the most valuable resource you possess is you. Your potential, your abilities, your mindset, and your capacity to grow and learn are the key drivers of your success. The idea that you are your greatest asset invites you to look inward. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that external factors like money, status, or connections are what determine your success. And while these things can certainly play a role, the real foundation of success is always within you. The way you think, the way you approach problems, the way you invest in your own development, these are the true determinants of your future. If you want to build a life of significance, it begins with understanding and investing in yourself. One of the first steps in recognizing that you are your greatest asset is acknowledging your own worth. Often we undervalue ourselves, thinking we need to be more like someone else or that our skills aren't in us. We're constantly comparing ourselves to others, measuring our progress by someone else's standards. But when you start to realize that you are unique with your own strengths, talents, and perspective, you begin to understand the immense value you already hold. The key is to stop looking outward for validation and instead begin to see the potential within you. You don't need to become someone else to succeed. You just need to fully embrace and develop who you already are. Another crucial aspect of seeing yourself as your greatest asset is the realization that you control your own growth. While external factors like education or opportunities can certainly influence your development, the most important driver of growth is your mindset. The belief that you can improve, adapt, and learn is essential. When you commit to personal development, when you commit to growing your knowledge, skills, and emotional intelligence, you create a foundation of strength that no one can take away from you. Growth is not dependent on circumstances, it's a choice you make every day. The more you invest in your learning, whether it's through books, courses, or life experiences, the more value you add to yourself. When you view yourself as your greatest asset, you begin to understand the importance of self-care. This isn't just about physical health, although that's a big part of it. It's about maintaining balance in all areas of your life, mentally, emotionally, and physically. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're limiting your ability to be your best. You cannot give your best to the world if you're running on empty. Your body is the vehicle through which you accomplish everything, and your mind is the tool that drives your decisions and actions. Without proper care and attention, neither of these will function at their highest capacity. Taking care of yourself, both inside and out, isn't indulgence, it's an investment. Investing in yourself also means becoming the master of your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you see yourself as limited, if you see yourself as incapable of reaching your goals, then that belief will become your reality. But if you decide to see yourself as resourceful, capable, and deserving of success, you will begin to act in alignment with that belief. The way you think about yourself determines what you are able to achieve. Having a positive, growth-oriented mindset allows you to overcome obstacles, learn from failure, and remain persistent in the face of setbacks. In many ways, the person you become is the result of the thoughts you continually choose to nurture. When you truly understand that you are your greatest asset, it changes the way you approach your time. You stop seeing time as a fleeting commodity that slips through your fingers. Instead, you begin to see time as one of the most valuable resources you have, and you make choices that align with your long-term vision and goals. You begin to treat your time as an investment, because the more you invest in things that grow and nurture you, the greater the return. Whether it's dedicating time to learning new skills, building meaningful relationships, or pursuing activities that align with your purpose, when you treat yourself as an asset, you prioritize what will pay the greatest dividends in your life. Understanding that you are your greatest asset means you also recognize the power of emotional intelligence. This is your ability to manage your emotions, understand the emotions of others, and use that awareness to guide your thinking and actions. Emotional intelligence is a skill that can be developed, and it plays a critical role in building relationships, making sound decisions, and achieving success. The better you are at managing your emotions, the better you will be at navigating life's challenges and working with others. This self-awareness and self-regulation are not just soft skills, they are essential for creating success and maintaining long-term happiness. The way you view failure also shifts when you understand that you are your greatest asset. Failure becomes not a reflection of your inadequacy, but rather a part of the growth process. Failure is feedback, and when you see it this way, it becomes a valuable learning tool rather than something to be feared. Every failure provides insight into what works and what doesn't, and it's through these lessons that you can refine your approach and get closer to your goals. People who see themselves as valuable assets do not shy away from failure, they embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. As you build your personal asset, you also begin to understand the importance of networking and relationships. While you are your greatest asset, the people you surround yourself with can either amplify or diminish that value. Your relationships with others play a significant role in your success. They challenge you, support you, and provide perspectives that broaden your vision. But more than that, the people you interact with can become partners in your journey. When you build a network of individuals who believe in your growth and who align with your values, you create an ecosystem that accelerates your success. Investing in strong, positive relationships is another way to maximize your potential. When you recognize that you are your greatest asset, it becomes easier to let go of limiting beliefs and the stories you tell yourself that hold you back. Many of us carry with us deep-seated beliefs about what we're capable of based on our upbringing, experiences, or past failures. But the moment you realize that you are capable of far more than you've allowed yourself to believe, your entire approach to life changes. You stop making excuses and start making decisions that are in alignment with the person you know you can become. The stories you tell yourself become empowering, and the barriers that once seemed insurmountable begin to fade away. The key to living a fulfilling, successful life is in understanding that you are the one constant factor in your journey. While you may not control all the circumstances around you, you do have control over your actions, your choices, and your growth. By investing in yourself, your mind, your body, your relationships, and your emotional health, you unlock the greatest potential for success. The world can change around you, but as long as you see yourself as your greatest asset, you will always be positioned to adapt, grow, and thrive. Choosing purpose over pleasure is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in your life. It's a mindset that shifts the focus from immediate gratification to long-term fulfillment, from fleeting satisfaction to lasting impact. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages of instant gratification, whether it's in the form of entertainment, food, material possessions, or other pleasures, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of what feels good in the moment. But real growth, true fulfillment, and lasting success come from consistently choosing purpose, even when it requires sacrifice or delayed gratification. Pleasure is often short-lived. It's the experience of satisfaction that comes from a temporary escape, whether it's a vacation, a shopping spree, a great meal, or simply unwinding in front of the TV. These moments, while enjoyable, rarely provide lasting meaning or fulfillment. They can even distract us from the deeper, more meaningful work we're called to do. Pleasure isn't inherently bad, but when it becomes the center of our lives, when we seek it above all else, we lose sight of our greater purpose, the mission that gives our lives meaning, direction, and significance.
The topic I bring to you is profound in its simplicity, yet powerful in its application. Act as if nothing bothers you. In a world filled with chaos and unpredictability, the ability to maintain a calm and unshaken demeanor is a rare and invaluable skill. This state of being, where external circumstances do not dictate our inner peace, is not merely a facade but a testament to our inner strength and self-mastery. To act as if nothing bothers you is to live in a realm of tranquility and unwavering confidence, regardless of the storms that may rage around you. Understanding the concept. To truly grasp the essence of acting as if nothing bothers you, we must first understand the nature of bothersome events. Life, in its infinite complexity, throws at us a myriad of challenges. These can range from minor inconveniences to significant upheavals. However, the impact of these events on our mental and emotional state is largely determined by our perception and response. The philosophy of acting unbothered is not about denying reality or suppressing emotions. It is about cultivating a mindset that prioritizes peace and clarity over reactionary impulses. It is about recognizing that our power lies not in controlling the external world, but in mastering our internal response to it. The power of perception. Perception is the lens through which we view our experiences. It shapes our reality and influences our reactions. Two individuals can face the same situation and perceive it in entirely different ways. One may see an insurmountable obstacle, while the other sees an opportunity for growth. To act as if nothing bothers you, you must first train your mind to perceive challenges differently. This involves shifting from a victim mentality to one of empowerment. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this, or how can I grow stronger through this? This shift in perception is not instantaneous. It requires conscious effort and practice. Begin by observing your thoughts and reactions. Notice when you feel bothered or upset and ask yourself why. Is it truly the event itself, or is it your interpretation of it that is causing distress? By dissecting your thoughts, you can begin to reframe your perception and choose more empowering interpretations. The art of detachment. Detachment is a key principle in acting as if nothing bothers you. It is the ability to separate your inner peace from external circumstances. Detachment does not mean indifference or apathy. It means maintaining your equilibrium and not allowing external events to dictate your emotional state. Detachment can be cultivated through mindfulness and self-awareness. Practice observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you encounter a bothersome situation, take a step back and breathe. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, but do not become them. Acknowledge their presence and let them pass like clouds drifting across the sky. Meditation and mindfulness practices are powerful tools in developing detachment. They train your mind to stay present and centered even amidst turmoil. Through regular practice, you will find that you are less reactive and more composed in the face of challenges. Building inner strength. Inner strength is the foundation upon which the ability to act unbothered is built. It is the resilience that allows you to withstand adversity and emerge stronger. Inner strength is not an inherent trait, it is developed through experience and conscious effort. One way to build inner strength is by setting and achieving personal goals. Each accomplishment, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in your capabilities. Challenges become opportunities to prove your resilience and grow stronger. Physical exercise also plays a crucial role in building inner strength. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. Regular physical activity reduces stress, improves mood, and enhances overall well-being. When your body is strong and resilient, your mind follows suit. Another essential aspect of inner strength is self-care. Prioritize activities that nourish your soul and replenish your energy. This could be spending time in nature, engaging in creative pursuits, or simply taking time to relax and unwind. By taking care of yourself, you build a reservoir of strength that you can draw upon in times of need. Embracing change. Change is a constant in life. It is inevitable and often unpredictable. To act as if nothing bothers you, you must learn to embrace change rather than resist it. Resistance to change creates friction and stress, whereas acceptance and adaptability lead to growth and resilience. When faced with change, focus on the aspects you can control. This may be your attitude, your response, or the steps you take to navigate the new circumstances. Accepting that change is a natural part of life allows you to flow with it rather than fight against it. One way to cultivate adaptability is to regularly challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Embrace new experiences, learn new skills, and expose yourself to different perspectives. The more comfortable you become with change, the less it will bother you when it inevitably occurs. The role of faith and belief. Faith and belief play a significant role in maintaining inner peace. Whether it is faith in a higher power, belief in the goodness of humanity, or confidence in your abilities, these convictions provide a foundation of stability amidst uncertainty. Cultivate a strong sense of purpose and belief in something greater than yourself. This can be a spiritual practice, a commitment to personal values, or a dedication to a cause you are passionate about. Having a sense of purpose anchors you and provides a source of strength and guidance. In times of difficulty, turn to your faith and beliefs for comfort and support. Trust that there is a greater plan at work and that you have the inner resources to navigate any challenge. This sense of trust and belief will fortify your resolve and help you remain unbothered by external events. Developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of others. It is a critical skill in acting as if nothing bothers you. By developing emotional intelligence, you gain greater control over your reactions and a deeper understanding of your emotional landscape. Begin by practicing self-awareness. Pay attention to your emotions and the triggers that elicit them. Reflect on how your emotions influence your thoughts and behaviors. By understanding your emotional patterns, you can anticipate and manage your reactions more effectively. Empathy is another crucial component of emotional intelligence. It allows you to understand and connect with others on a deeper level. When you empathize with others, you are less likely to take their actions personally or feel bothered by their behavior. Instead, you can respond with compassion and understanding, cultivating a positive mindset. A positive mindset is a powerful ally in the quest to act unbothered. It is the ability to focus on the good even in challenging situations. Positivity is not about ignoring difficulties, but about choosing to see the opportunities and blessings within them. Practice gratitude daily. Reflect on the things you are thankful for and express appreciation for the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking or bothersome to what is abundant and joyful. Surround yourself with positive influences. Engage with people who uplift and inspire you. Consume content that encourages growth and positivity. By immersing yourself in a positive environment, you reinforce a mindset that is resilient and unbothered by negativity. Mastering self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of maintaining inner peace and acting unbothered. It is the ability to control impulses, delay gratification, and stay committed to your goals. Self-discipline requires a strong sense of purpose and the willingness to make consistent, deliberate choices. Establish routines and habits that support your well-being and personal growth. This could include regular exercise, healthy eating, time management, and mindfulness practices. By creating a structured and disciplined lifestyle, you reduce the likelihood of being thrown off balance by external events. Practice patience and perseverance. Understand that mastery of self-discipline is a gradual process. Celebrate small victories and remain committed to your long-term goals. Over time, your self-discipline will become second nature, enabling you to remain composed and unbothered in any situation. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in the journey to act as if nothing bothers you. Holding on to grudges and resentment creates emotional turmoil and disrupts your inner peace. Forgiveness, on the other hand, frees you from the burden of negative emotions and allows you to move forward with grace and serenity. Forgiveness begins with yourself. Acknowledge and accept your imperfections and mistakes. Understand that self-compassion is essential for healing and growth. By forgiving yourself, you create a foundation of self-love and resilience. Extend forgiveness to others as well. Recognize that holding on to anger and resentment only harms you. Release the need for revenge or retribution and choose to let go. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from its emotional grip. Practicing mindful communication. Effective communication is essential in maintaining inner peace and acting unbothered. Mindful communication involves speaking and listening with intention, clarity, and empathy. It is the ability to express yourself honestly while respecting the perspectives of others. When communicating, be present and attentive. Listen actively and seek to understand before responding. Avoid reactive or defensive language. Instead, express your thoughts and feelings calmly and assertively. Set healthy boundaries in your interactions. Communicate your needs and limits clearly and respectfully. Boundaries protect your emotional well-being and prevent you from feeling overwhelmed or bothered by others' actions. Embracing vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but it is in fact a source of strength. Embracing vulnerability means being open and honest about your feelings and experiences. It is the courage to be authentic and to accept yourself fully. When you embrace vulnerability, you free yourself from the fear of judgment or rejection. You become more resilient because you are no longer hiding behind a facade. Authenticity breeds confidence and inner peace. Share your vulnerabilities with trusted individuals. By opening up, you create deeper connections and foster a sense of support and understanding. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength and self-acceptance. Building resilient relationships. Relationships play a significant role in our lives and can be a source of both joy and challenges. To act as if nothing bothers you in the context of relationships, it is essential to build resilience within these connections. This involves fostering trust, open communication, and mutual respect. Cultivating trust and respect. Trust and respect are the foundation of any healthy relationship. When trust is established, you feel secure and confident, reducing the likelihood of being easily bothered by misunderstandings or conflicts. To build trust, practice honesty and consistency in your actions and words. Show respect for others' opinions, even when they differ from your own. Open communication. Open communication is key to resolving conflicts and maintaining harmony. Approach conversations with an open mind and a willingness to understand the other person's perspective. Avoid jumping to conclusions or reacting defensively. Instead, ask questions and seek clarity. By fostering an environment of open dialogue, you can address issues before they escalate into significant problems. Managing conflicts gracefully. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, but how you handle them determines their impact. When a disagreement arises, approach it calmly and with a solution-oriented mindset. Focus on the issue at hand rather than attacking the person. Practice active listening and validate the other person's feelings, even if you don't agree with their viewpoint. By managing conflicts gracefully, you can maintain your composure and strengthen the relationship. Embracing life's impermanence. One of the profound truths of life is its impermanence. Everything is in a constant state of change and nothing lasts forever. Embracing this reality can significantly enhance your ability to act as if nothing bothers you. When you accept that both good and bad times are temporary, you become less attached to outcomes and more present in each moment. Letting go of attachment. Attachment to specific outcomes, people, or possessions can lead to suffering when things don't go as planned. Practice detachment by recognizing that your happiness and inner peace are not dependent on external factors. This doesn't mean you should not care or invest in your goals and relationships, but rather that you should not allow your sense of self-worth to be tied to them. Letting go of attachment frees you from the fear of loss and disappointment. Living in the present moment. Living in the present moment is a powerful way to maintain inner peace. When you are fully present, you are not dwelling on past regrets or worrying about future uncertainties. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and deep breathing can help you stay grounded in the here and now. By focusing on the present, you reduce the impact of external events on your emotional state. The role of humor and lightheartedness. Humor and lightheartedness are invaluable tools in the journey to act as if nothing bothers you. Laughter has a therapeutic effect, reducing stress and providing a fresh perspective on challenging situations. Cultivating a sense of humor allows you to approach life with a lighter heart and a more positive outlook. Finding joy in everyday moments. Look for opportunities to find joy and humor in everyday moments. Whether it's sharing a laugh with a friend, enjoying a funny movie, or simply appreciating the absurdities of life. These moments of lightheartedness can uplift your spirit and help you maintain a balanced perspective. By finding joy in the small things, you create a buffer against the stresses and challenges of life. Not taking yourself too seriously. Taking yourself too seriously can make you more susceptible to feeling bothered by minor setbacks or criticisms. Practice self-deprecation and learn to laugh at your own mistakes and imperfections. Recognize that no one is perfect and that life is a continuous learning experience. By not taking yourself too seriously, you become more resilient and less affected by external judgments. The practice of compassion and kindness. Compassion and kindness are powerful antidotes to feeling bothered by external events. When you approach life with a compassionate heart, you are more understanding and forgiving of both yourself and others. This practice fosters a sense of inner peace and reduces the impact of negative experiences. compassion for yourself. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. When you make a mistake or face a challenge, instead of harshly criticizing yourself, acknowledge your efforts and offer yourself words of encouragement. Self-compassion builds resilience and helps you maintain a positive and unbothered attitude. Compassion for others. Extend compassion to others by practicing empathy and understanding. Recognize that everyone is dealing with their own struggles and challenges. By being kind and supportive, you create a positive environment that reduces the likelihood of conflicts and misunderstandings. Compassionate interactions not only benefit others, but also enhance your own sense of inner peace. The strength of consistency. Consistency in your actions, thoughts, and behaviors is crucial in the journey to act as if nothing bothers you. When you consistently practice positive habits and mindsets, they become ingrained in your being, making it easier to maintain inner peace and resilience. Establishing positive routines. Create daily routines that support your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. This could include activities such as meditation, exercise, journaling, and spending time with loved ones. Consistent routines provide a sense of stability and structure, helping you stay grounded amidst life's uncertainties. Practicing patience. Patience is a virtue that allows you to remain calm and composed in the face of delays or challenges. Practice patience by reminding yourself that everything unfolds in its own time. When you encounter obstacles, view them as opportunities to practice perseverance and resilience. Patience helps you maintain a long-term perspective and reduces the tendency to be bothered by short-term setbacks. The importance of self-reflection. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth and maintaining inner peace. By regularly reflecting on your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you gain deeper insights into yourself and your reactions. This self-awareness allows you to make conscious choices that align with your values and goals. Journaling is an effective practice for self-reflection. Take time each day to write about your experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Reflect on what bothers you and why, and explore ways to reframe your perspective. Journaling provides a safe space to process your emotions and gain clarity. Seeking feedback. Seek feedback from trusted individuals who can provide valuable insights into your behavior and reactions. Constructive feedback helps you identify areas for improvement and encourages personal growth. Be open to learning from others and using their perspectives to enhance your own self-awareness. Embracing the journey. The journey to act as if nothing bothers you is ongoing and ever evolving. It requires continuous effort, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. Embrace this journey with a sense of curiosity and wonder, recognizing that each challenge and experience contributes to your development. Celebrating progress. Acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Each step forward is a testament to your resilience and determination. Celebrating your achievements reinforces positive behaviors and motivates you to continue on your path. Learning from setbacks. Setbacks are an inevitable part of the journey. Instead of feeling discouraged, view them as opportunities for learning and growth. Reflect on what went wrong and how you can improve. By learning from setbacks, you build resilience and become better equipped to handle future challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue on this journey of self-mastery and inner peace, let us remember that the ability to act as if nothing bothers us is a profound expression of our strength and resilience. It is a testament to our commitment to living a life of tranquility and unwavering confidence. By cultivating a positive mindset, embracing change, practicing self-discipline, and extending compassion, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. Let us continue to build resilient relationships, find joy in everyday moments, and embrace the journey with curiosity and wonder.